Welcome to Cult Macabre, a phantasmagoric guide to pop culture's dark side. I'm Richie.
And I'm Lee.
Today, we are discussing our first cryptid, but most people wouldn't consider this to be a cryptid. However, it does qualify as being a cryptid by cryptid standards. We're going to talk about the Wendigo.
This one is a personal favorite of mine because I find it to be absolutely terrifying, all things considered. As far as the Wendigo goes...
The Wendigos.
As far as the Wendigos, the Wendigo originates as an evil spirit from Algonquian folklore.
Algonquian,
which is Native American. This also includes other varying tales that come from indigenous people of the Ojibwe, the Saulteaux, and the Cree as well. They originate in regions of Canada or the northern United States, and sightings have continued to be reported to this day on this creature.
Yeah, and that kind of ties into some of the lore about the creature at hand being able to traverse snow very well. In fact, not even sinking into the snow, just going across the top of it, being very able-bodied, if you will, to just chase your ass down.
A master of stealth and speed, of course.
Would you say it moves like the wind?
It's gone with the wind.
No, it's go with the wind.
So Wendigos, for those of you that may or may not be familiar with this particular creature and its lore, in some traditions, greed and gluttony could transform a person into a Wendigo. In others, it can be portrayed as a spirit that can possess a human, or a creature that a human can become when warped by consuming human flesh, usually during the starvation of wintertime.
Which again plays into the whole snow thing.
Absolutely. The Wendigo has been referenced in books, video games, movies, music, even social commentary at this point.
Yeah, in fact, the most recent, as of this recording, that it's been referenced in pop culture is the Until Dawn video game.
Yeah, and we do see them present in some other video games as well, such as Grim Dawn, Fallout 76, which is a personal favorite of mine, and a game called Dusk as well. All of these vary wildly between their depictions, but all of them have lore ingrained into these games. You might recognize them from films such as The Lone Ranger from 2013, Antlers 2021, Ravenous from 1999, and Dark Was the Night.
I don't recommend the movie Antlers if you're looking to get scared, because it's actually not very scary. Even though it is considered to be a horror film, it's more of a creepy suspense thriller thing. It's really not scary.
So that's funny because every little clip or video I've seen on it make it seem like some crazy horror movie.
That is the magic of trailer editing.
Beautiful. You may also recognize them from shows such as Hannibal or Supernatural.
Yeah, definitely Supernatural. That and Leviathan are things that I recognize from the television series Supernatural, which, again, I recommend. If you want to skip it, skip the entire Leviathan storyline. It's nothing.
That's an episode for another day.
Yes, it is. Let's go on with the chlorophyll, as it were.
So I'm going to break this down with a detailed physical description of the Wendigo.
Please.
If you will humor me here.
Yeah, no, it's not humorous at all. But
it's really not. Unless you can see the Wendigo's humorous, in which case that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
So the Wendigo is often depicted as a very tall, towering creature that is somewhat humanoid in appearance, with elongated limbs and very unnatural proportions. One might even call him gangly, arms that are too long, legs that are too long or bend in weird directions, things of that nature.
I don't even want to look at it now. It just sounds too weird.
It's like seeing an alien and moving. You're like, ugh, that doesn't look great. So Wendigos are usually very emaciated. The skin will be pulled very tightly over their bones. It creates a very haunting and gaunt looking frame.
He needs some milk.
Its desiccated flesh is usually ranges from shades of decaying yellow to a dark ashen gray. A dead body that's been sitting way too long.
I mean, look. It already gives the appearance of one, so just...
Yeah, no, for real. Its eyes will also likely be sinking into its skull, although I did some reading and there are some other depictions that have glowing red eyes or something along that nature.
As you'll see on our episode art, that is one of the features.
A Wendigo's teeth are usually sharpened, sometimes even broken, jagged, perfect tools for tearing flesh to feed its very insatiable and unending hunger. He hungy.
I'm sure you have. Have you read into the whole thing about their teeth?
What do you mean?
Basically, like, if you look at how in science, if you will, if a Wendigo was to form, after changing, more teeth appear. However, the teeth that are already there don't fall out. It's like the mouth becomes bigger, the jaw becomes bigger, and there's not enough room for all these teeth to grow in place. So they actually grow over and under and behind and around to the point where you can't shut your mouth properly, and the skin just gets peeled fucking way back, and it's fucked up.
He got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
He's just Henri cuz de medulla oblongata.
My mama says.
Well, folks, mama's wrong again.
We see that in nature in general. Obviously, herbivores have large, flat teeth for grinding, and we see, I almost said cannibals, we see carnivores with sharp teeth for tearing. That's what they do. So it makes perfect sense to me that if the rest of their body is going to mold and transform to be this perfect hunting, killing machine, then teeth are going to follow that too. And with the teeth, we'll also have clawed fingers. Often fingers or toes that end in sharp exposed bone, even, which is one of my favorite depictions of them. Is more like zombies than like forest creatures, if that makes sense.
Right, and there really is no right or wrong way to look at them because it is a mythological thing. It is, very much left to interpretation because, while most of history has depicted it as a humanoid, emaciated body, they really started being like, oh no, it might be like a deer kind of creature with antlers on its head. And it's like, okay, well, to each their own.
I feel like that's the most popularized version of it as well. The one you're most likely to see in video games and TV shows and whatnot.
I feel like that kind of, how do I put this? That also, like to describe it as like a woodland animal creature would lend to it being more real. Like I would buy a creature, like an animalistic looking creature over like a humanoid looking creature, like in real life.
For sure. And I feel like, on the opposite end of that, the more fucked up human they make it seem like, the more like realistic it feels.
Sure.
And it really lends to the like losing your humanity symbolism that goes along with that.
Yeah.
Because typically these creatures are associated with winter, the north, coldness, famine, starvation, gluttony, cannibalism, greed. Those are all like the main themes behind a Wendigo. Little bits that separate you from the rest of society and take you tumbling down this lovely little rabbit hole.
No, a deer hole. It's not a rabbit hole.
Well, enough about holes.
No.
Holes are my favorite, he says. I hate reading descriptions about what these things supposedly smell like. Anytime someone describes an awful stench, I feel like it's already in my nostrils and it already makes me feel sick.
So you get phantom sniffs.
I get phantom sniffs. But these guys are supposed to smell like just absolutely wretched, cloying, decaying death. Just absolutely horrible. Rotten meat, I think, was another common descriptor that I would find. I can feel my stomach churning as I'm talking about it.
You say this, I'm not giving away what my day job is here, but like you say this shit and I live this 5 days a week for 13 hours a day. All right.
I wonder which one of us smells worse after coming home from a day on the job.
I mean, I deal with a lot of bullshit at my job, so.
I deal with a lot of dog shit. So literally. So bullshit and dog shit aside, another really cool thing that this creeps me out probably the most about Wendigos. And you can see a lot of like, whether they be hoaxy or not, or maybe, what do they call those augmented reality videos? A lot of things like that try to show you how the Wendigo might not lose its ability to coherently speak or the capacity to speak in the way that they use their voice to lure victims. And it could be imitating sounds like twig snapping behind you or anything like that.
So it's a mimic.
I mean, basically, yeah. Imagine you're hiking, right? You're on a mountain trail in Canada and you're hiking along and you're in the middle of fucking nowhere all by yourself. Maybe it's getting dark outside and you just very quietly in the distance hear, help, kind of quietly in the distance, but just clear enough for you to understand that someone was calling for help.
I thought I was just going to hear.
Oh, dear God. You're likely to run into that in the woods too. Let's be real.
No, I know. It's bullshit.
All those hikers out there, I see you. I know.
I hear you too.
We smell you. Ugh, you smell worse than Wendigos.
What the hell?
So you hear this voice calling for help and you head over in the direction you think it's coming from, and there's like an outcropping of rock and you see like this dark space that you might be able to barely fit through, and you get close and you call out, is anyone there? Do you need help? And you just hear, help. Same tone, same volume, just calling to you from that hole in the rock.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Fuck that.
The amount of fear that would just immediately run down my spine. I mean, instant goosebumps. I've been hiking quite a few times in the mountains in the middle of absolutely fucking nowhere. And only once in all of my camping escapades, this was in Mount Rainier and it was wintertime. So there was snow and ice on the ground. It was fucking freezing. I was out there with one of my friends. It was just me and him camping together. And this is one of my roommates from Washington. So that is the only camping trip I have ever had where I got a very deep gut feeling that something was wrong and I was not supposed to be there. I had the weird feeling like I was being watched the entire time. And mountain lions are extremely common in that area. So that's not super far-fetched. It could have been something like that.
Well, I know. I've been hiking in fucking Red Rocks in Morrison, Colorado, and I would just be walking and I would just look over and see an entire fucking like corpse of an animal and just be like, oh shit, that means something is nearby that might eat me. Fuck me running. Let's get out of here.
And there's a weird, eerie silence that follows these feelings. Like it's everything was like deafeningly quiet, if that makes sense. And it literally just shot through me. And I was like, I need to get out of here. Something isn't right. Something isn't safe. I'm scared. And we literally packed up within that hour and left. Thank goodness my roommate did not question me at all. He was just like, okay, you've got this feeling. It's not good. Let's get out of here. And that's the exact feeling that I would get hearing something like that in the middle of nowhere.
Nah, fuck all that shit.
It would not be I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to help. It would be, I'm getting the fuck out of here and I will find help and tell them where you need help, but I cannot help you. I will literally die of a heart attack if a fucking spider crawled too close to me. So not today, Wendigo.
Look, I can't even say shit myself because like a snake could slither past me and I would nope the fuck out of there. It could be a grass snake and I would still say, nope, fuck this, I'm leaving. I don't care.
A nope rope.
It is a nope rope. Fuck that.
It's hard to be scared of something that doesn't have kneecaps. I don't know what it is.
It's a danger noodle, okay?
Not all of them are danger noodles.
I know.
Some of them are puppy noodles.
Yeah, I know.
Mine's a puppy noodle.
I know.
Still don't like him.
He
did nothing wrong.
He didn't. He's. Hey, look.
Wendigos did nothing wrong. No, wait.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, the Wendigo absolutely uses tools like its voice mimicry as a very effective hunting tool to lure victims. We mentioned that they have pretty much unmatched speed and stealth to help them with this as well.
Yeah, and not to mention very good eyesight and good hearing, sense of smell. Look, it is the ultimate killing machine, okay? I'm just saying.
And it said that, if a Wendigo is in the area, it's probably 1,000,000 times more familiar with its territory than you ever will be. And it will wander its territory looking for flesh to stalk and devour. And it's also said that every time they kill and eat something, they grow larger from it as well.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where like the insatiable appetite matches its size. You know what I'm saying? Like the more it eats, it grows bigger. And it's like, well, fuck, I'm more hungry and I got to eat more. And yeah. And even if you wanted to, if you wanted to kill one of these motherfuckers, all right, legend has it that you have to cut its heart out and or burn the motherfucker in a fire before its spirit can be vanquished.
I believe it says that its heart is made out of ice as well.
Oh, well, look at that. That goes with the fire.
Fire bad. Fire not bad. Fire cook food, so food no have maggot.
Jesus fuck.
But the Wendigo have lots of maggot. I can't. I'm sorry. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I personally have had any experience like this. I don't think I've been far north enough at all to have experienced anything that even remotely resembles a Wendigo.
The furthest north that I have been in the continental United States is Illinois, but the furthest north that I have been in a climate setting such as this is in Denver, Colorado, or Morrison, Red Rocks, Colorado. Like, I lived in that Cherry Creek, Glendale County area where you could be in the city, but if you really wanted to see outdoors, you could drive like 15, 20 minutes and get there. I loved it, but it's not something I would do at night.
Yeah, I've also been camping in the Northern Cascades, which borders Washington and Canada. That's probably as north as I've ever been.
The true north.
The true north. But still, never had an experience like this, for sure. If any of you listeners have had an experience like this, or you think you might have, or maybe you caught some weird audio or video, please feel free to share that with us. We would absolutely love to see it.
If you'd like to tag us and you want us to share it on our social media as well, we'll tag you and, put it out there for everybody to see.
Absolutely. And I did go digging as well for like recent sightings of Wendigos and things of that nature.
Did you bring a shovel?
I did not. Doesn't matter.
How the fuck did you dig?
My bear claws.
Your bear claws?
I have bear claws.
Did they
My
taste
Wendigo
good?
Claws.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the food bear claw. Anyway, continue.
Oh, now I want donuts.
I know, I'm fat. It's cool.
Pastries, gimme. But I've seen sightings listed in Kentucky, Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio.
Dude, Kentucky. That's...
They have so many other cryptids that they could choose.
Colonel Sanders is a cryptid in Kentucky, okay, dude?
Oh my God.
His finger looking good, man.
Oh, my stomach hurts. I do believe, God damn it. I do believe the majority of sightings still come from Canada. And I believe all the tribes that have stories, lore, mythos, whatever you want to call it, on the Wendigo are all Canadian.
Yeah, there's a couple of stories if you wouldn't mind me reading.
Absolutely not, please.
All right, so like one of the most famous ones is of Swift Runner, and he was a Cree trapper that lived in Fort Saskatchewan in Alberta around 1878, 1879, and he was accused of murdering his entire family. That's like his 6 kids and his wife.
Oh, man.
And it was during a winter famine, and they accused him of eating them. And he had claimed that he was possessed by a Wendigo spirit that made him do it. He was arrested by Canadian authorities and hanged for the crimes in 1879 at Fort Saskatchewan.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
God damn it. You can't Saskatch me, motherfucker.
I need a Lee puns counter.
I think we both need a fucking pun counter here. It's insane. Oh. So another one is Jack Fiddler. It was a shaman that lived near Sandy Lake in Ontario around 1907 and 1909. And he claimed that he killed at least 14 people that were either possessed by Wendigos or were about to turn due to starvation and illness. He said that he did this to protect his community from the evil influence, and he was arrested by Canadian authorities along with his brother, Joseph Fiddler. They were both arrested for murder in 1907 at the Norway House in Manitoba. Jack Fiddler escaped from custody but died shortly after, and Joseph was tried and sentenced to life imprisonment but was granted a pardon after public outcry.
And after he died.
Yeah. How goddamn unfortunate.
I don't know about you, but I didn't know a lot of people have that thing, whatever it might be, that instinct, I don't know, in them to survive literally no matter what. But I'd probably kill myself before I killed my family and ate them.
Yeah.
And then they can eat me if they want. I don't care. I'm dead. That's on them.
Dead fucking meat. But have you ever heard about how the spirit supposedly will possess you?
Yes, I have heard that's one of the ways that you, quote, become a Wendigo, is you get possessed by one or get transformed into one.
Well, the way that they say that it happens is that you are bitten by one, or that it's in a dream that it happens. So like the spirit enters a person by biting them, and it's in a dream, and the possessed person is said to become cannibalistic or violent, deranged, and more people, it's believed that they're more susceptible to becoming possessed than other people are. And people that are actually like more greedy and gluttonous by nature are the ones that are likely to, have it. Basically, if you already exhibit the traits of a Wendigo spirit or its, personality, if you already exhibit that, I mean, why wouldn't it be easier? Like you're already like a perfect candidate.
Right. It already suits you. So just don't be a greedy, gluttonous asshole, I guess.
Yeah.
Getting bitten in your dreams. All right. This just in. Freddy Krueger's a Wendigo.
Yeah, I know. I was actually like about to make a fucking...
I beat you to it.
But also like a fun fact about this is that the Proto-Algonquian term has been reconstructed as Wintekowa, which may have meant owl.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it is interesting considering owl, but antlers.
I wonder if owls have a specific symbolism behind them.
That's them eyeballs, man. That's them eyeballs, man. They got that super good seeing.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if you know this about owls, and excuse me for the diatribe here, but did you know they are completely soundless when they hunt?
Mm-hmm.
They are one of the most effective hunters.
Have you ever seen one really up close?
I have actually.
They're fucking tall.
Not to bring back my life in Washington for the third time during this, but that was my closest experience with an owl. I was literally hiking a trail with my friend Nids again, and we stopped to partake in some dubious activities. Of the marijuana kind.
You could have just left it at dubious.
No, I wanted to leave no room for doubt. I didn't want anyone to fill in the blank.
You were planting the seeds perfectly there.
And then smoking them.
Fucking idiot.
But we were enjoying a casual smock, if you will. And we hear a noise, and I just kind of I'm looking around, and I'm looking for it. And then I see this huge gray and brown owl. It was close enough that I actually could get a good gauge on its side, and I had no idea that owls were as big as they were, or at least this particular kind of owl was as big as it was. It was intimidatingly large, and it just stared and stared and stared. I'm getting scared thinking about it because it was very intimidating, all the way up until the point where we were we had nothing left of this joint, and this owl swoops down in front of us. And, I say swoop in motion, definitely not in sound, but it comes down and it lands in the creek in front of us and then starts bathing, flapping its wings around, fluffing up its feathers. And I was like, "Aw."
It just looks up at you. Oh, it's just a duck.
I'm a little too high.
It's just a duck. I'll tell you the story about the time that I saw an owl IRL, and then we can get back to this. Sorry, everybody out there, for the fucking side tangent here, but oh god, I think I was 18, maybe 19 years old, and my friend Trent and I were outside of my parents' old house, and we lived right by a main highway, and nobody, or I say main highway, it was a main drag in our town, but nobody would drive down the son of a bitch, and we were up at all hours of the night, right? And so we're underneath the one street light. And out the corner of my eye, I look over, and there's nothing. There's just darkness. And I see this football-looking fucking thing with feathers come fly and plop down in the middle of the fucking road.
Did you just Hey Arnold this bird?
I did. I fucking did, because it looked like a football with goddamn chicken feet. And I wasn't even inebriated, at all. No, and I still thought this. Yeah, no, just you. And I looked over, and I was like, the fuck is that? Because I could barely see it, because it was in the dark or whatever. And then it turned its head, because how owls can turn their fucking
smooth,
dude.
Oh, it's so unnerving sometimes.
You ever seen the Nintendo Rob the robot?
Yeah.
You know how it turns real slow? That's what that fucker looked like. And it just turned and its eyes went huge. And I was like, that's a fucking owl. Why is it so big? I didn't know they were that big until I saw it in that moment.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo. So it sat there and fucking stared at me for dude.
It's freaky, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So I was like, is it going to go away? Because I figured it'll go away.
Sure.
It didn't fucking go away. I mean, it did eventually, but it just sat there. I was like, I thought it was dinner. I literally was like, this thing is fucking huge. And I'm not even kidding you. Just from where I was at, probably a good 50 yards away.
Sure.
I could tell that fucker was 2 feet fucking tall or some shit. It was huge, man. The fucker was big and fat.
It was surprising how large I have no idea. I'm not educated enough about owl subspecies or what genuses, what have you, to know what kind of owl I was looking
Look,
at,
man, this thing may as well have been fucking Big Bird, okay?
Oh my God, can you imagine?
The cryptid Big Bird. Fucking cryptid Big Bird, cryptid Snuffleupagus, or cryptid Sesame Street, Wendigo.
Fried chicken.
No, cryptid fried chicken, that's it, KFC. KFC, cryptid fried chicken, where the Colonel will give you a deal.
Sorry. We've ganged up on the Colonel a lot tonight.
Man, fuck the Colonel. Fuck the Colonel. I'm from Louisiana. It's Popeyes or nothing, motherfuckers. Any fucking way. That's the cryptid. There's so many more pages out there if you want to deep dive it a little more than what we've talked about. We just wanted to have like a little, short discussion with you. And I think it's a cool thing. I like the cryptid. I like reading about it. I like the interpretations. And if you like what you've heard today and you want to hear us talk a little bit more about it, but in a different medium, please come back to our next episode coming out where we will discuss the video game Until Dawn, which has the cryptid prominently featured in its lore and its story and all the shit.
I am so excited for the next episode.
It's one of my favorite video games that I've ever gotten to play. At the time that it came out, I thought it was pretty innovative how they were using actors and fully scanning their likenesses and putting them in here, and it felt like a movie. In fact, there's an Until Dawn movie that just finished wrapping that I'm sure we will cover next year when it comes out.
Absolutely.
However, this one has Rami Malek and Hayden Panettiere and a whole slew of other actors in it that did a fucking amazing job, and we'll talk about that when we get into it on that episode. But for past, present, and future episodes of Cult Macabre, you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. You can leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. You can leave a rating and comment on individual episodes on Spotify. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel, clicking the bell for notifications, leave a comment underneath this episode. Any engagement helps. If you'd like to follow Cult Macabre on social media, all of it can be found in our Linktree link in the show notes below.
So if you'd like to join us for more of pop culture's dark side, sign the Black Book and join the cult.
I'm Richie.
And I'm Lee.
We'll see you next time.